Well, good morning, everybody. How we doing today? I hope you're having a lovely day, because I am, even though it just started. All right, look, let's talk, you and me. It is Friday, December 23rd, 2022. So we got some economic news today, and I just don't like the way the mainstream media is spinning it. So on the inflation front, inflation continues to rise, although it's coming in better here on an annual rate. So what they're going to tell you here is, oh, things are looking better, but they're not going to tell you the truth that inflation is continuing to rise. It has nowhere to go but higher, and they're going to continue to sell you the lie that there's only one solution, just one, to this inflation issue, and central banks are going to continue to raise rates. I'm flipping through, the financial channels this morning, as I always do, and they're floating out this freak followed by another freak and another freak after that, all telling the same tale. And this is how they brainwash people. Anyone that's fixated here watching the mainstream financial channels, they're going to hear the same narrative from every single one of these propaganda ministry channels, and they're going to believe that what they're hearing is true because they keep hearing it from this network, that network, another network, and it just drives this guy right here, it drives me nuts how they're telling people there's only one solution. Well, actually, we had another solution that was that people need to lose their jobs, according to Fed President Daly. Okay, but the lie, the narrative, and it's completely false, is the dog shit. I was trying not to say this. Falsehood that there is only one solution, that central banks need to continue to raise rates, and they will. Look, in my perspective, and I've been pretty good with calling what the Fed's going to do for many, many years. I've been wrong a couple of times out of, I don't even know how many over the years. The Fed's going to raise rates again, and it's going to be followed up by the European Central Bank, Bank of England, Swiss National Bank. They're all going to do the same things. They're going to get another rate hike come next month, and then probably a pause at that point. And we'll see how the market responds to that. But that's my best take on it. And we'll see how it plays out moving forward. But remember this, because we'll get to see if these things I say actually come true. I think it's even possible that we could, out of the Fed, for example, we could get a 25 basis point hike next month, followed by another 25, then a pause, or a 50, and then a pause. We need to see, but a pause is coming. There's just no doubt about it. And inflation is going to continue to rise, and the narrative is going to be the same as today. Oh, it's still rising, but it's missing the projections by the rocket scientists, the economists out here, or it's slowing on an annual rate pace. But the bottom line is inflation is continuing to rise. All right. So we also found this out this morning. Excuse me. So durable goods orders continue to drop. This is a phenomenon that's been going on for quite a while, but they want you to believe that GDP is higher, but they're not telling you the truth, okay? Gross domestic product, a product as well of government spending. And with this nearly $2 trillion spending bill, well, GDP is, of course, going to go higher as the economy continues to free fall. Period. The freaking end here. So we also found out that this plays right into that business and personal spending came in weaker than expected. So, if you sit back and you consider all the little pieces to this, it's very easy, I believe, to cut through the bullshit and realize that we're being lied to on a massive scale. And this is not just a phenomenon here in the United States. Believe me, I hear from people all over the world. All over the world. I am, blessed to have friends everywhere. And a lot of it is from this blog. People write to me. I get to interact with these people. And everyone is telling me they're seeing the same types of things coming out of their news outlets. Again, these supposed, news outlets, they don't report on a damn thing. All they're doing is reading a script, pushing an agenda, and keeping up a specific narrative. And that is going to go on and on and on, just like this war. And I can't stand this either. Even this morning, they're praising the meeting of the great minds here. President Bidenstein, the mummy man himself, his mind is, well, it's melted down, obviously, and demented. And then we got the Zelensky, and they're playing this thing up over and over and over again, like it's the savior of the world. These two men are going to save the entire world. No, what these two men are going to do here is perpetuate war on a much grander scale than we already have. But they're the saviors of the world, the meetings of the great minds. Do you think does that ring true to you? Or does this sound like the most ridiculous piece of crap you've probably heard in maybe the history of your entire life? And we're talking about the Frankenstein monster, or whatever it may be, yet to be defined, President Biden, who is frankly absolutely completely brain dead in my view. But I don't know, maybe some of you have a different perspective on all this. Anyway, so on the back of this economic news today, again, durable goods orders dropping, business and personal spending weaker than expected, and inflation continuing to rise. Although, remember what they're going to sell you. It's down on an annual base. Stock futures are about flat. Trading doesn't start for about 29 minutes from the time I am doing this video blog. Let's cover a few more things. Crude oil right now is getting bid higher by almost 3%. WTI crude is about $80. It's going much, much higher. You all know that. I've explained to all of you lately, we've discussed it right here, this little lull that we've had with regard to energy prices, it's not going to last. That's pretty much written in stone, kind of chiseled in here. And again, if you understand the mechanism to continue to pressure members of the middle class, and pressure is going to come to people of the middle class from every single possible angle. Cost of living is going to continue to rise. Life stresses are going to continue to rise. And the propaganda is going to get even greater. They're going to tell you how great you're doing. Meanwhile, what do we have here, people? A savings rate which is already in the negative and continues to drop from here. On an actual basis, people are earning less money than they've earned in decades. And inflation continues to rise. But, they want you to believe everything is just lovely. And unfortunately, it's not. You see, they think you're really stupid. And I know you're not stupid. So let's go back to the market real quick. You got the MMRI continues to rise here. Last time I looked at it was 241. Now, again, if you watched the video I said that I put out yesterday, post-market, I explained to you, or I at least asked you to click on the link in the description of this video. It's the first link down there. It'll bring up the MMRI, and I explained to you what's happening. You can see the trend of the MMRI going higher, and you can also see the range that it's in. If you were to draw a line to the top points and the bottom points, we're at the bottom of the range. Meanwhile, it keeps rising. It's very possible that we could see a big spike here, or maybe even a super spike in the MMRI, and that is not going to be very lovely here as risk continues to rise in this market. So, there's a lot of things that we need to keep our eyes on, but we have the tools to do it. Let's move on here. So, on top of the MMRI rising, you got the 10-year yield higher. You got some weakness here with regard to the relative strength of the dollar, and that's putting a nice boost behind gold and silver, which are catching a nice bid. Bitcoin, cryptocurrency is also catching a bid as well. That's the setup for this morning. Okay, so I really don't know what else to say on that topic. You and I really are on top of this. We know what we're looking at. We understand we're not going to deviate at all. I'm going to tell you this a billion times repeatedly. You and I are going to continue to bet against the debt, become our own central banks here, holding hard assets. And if you are a subscriber to my free newsletter, I sent out a list of several commodity ETFs, or exchange traded funds, you might want to have a look at. If you have yet to check your inbox, check it now. It's there. I mean, there's other ones too, and I talk about these all the time, but the last few, I think I put out 5, are things you might want to consider. Okay, and I put links on each one of them where you can actually look at the prospectus and just to bring yourself up to speed here. Anyway, look, as always, people, I want to hear from you, and I want to thank all of you for the comments. I do read through them, and you people are freaking smart, and I love reading the comments. Believe me, sometimes I feel alone in this freak show, but then I realize, hey, you know what, Greg? You got a lot of friends, and everyone is kind of on the same page. All right, look, this guy loves you a lot. Again, please comment, share the video, get it out there. I'll see all of you at the end of the day. We'll sum this all up. I'm out of here.